Good morning, everyone. Welcome to KMS in the morning show. My name is Jacob Rudolph. Unfortunately, Christian's not here today. She's not in the morning show. Um, First, we're gonna do some announcements. So, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Jacob Rudolph. So, tomorrow's our last day of ESYTs in middle school, and tomorrow, well, it's probably going to be our last morning show, I believe. So, no, let me see. We only do morning shows in the summer. Unfortunately, we only do morning shows in the summer. We don't do them in the fall and either the winter nor the spring. The spring. You guys may not know that tomorrow is going to be our last morning show of our 2026. Because some of our friends have school next week, and I don't want them to miss out. It's either July. Our next morning show will be on for next year, for 2027, June 21st. So June 21st, 2027, we'll start the morning show again. So we will, to Whistle, do you want to? Okay, so we have a maximum of 3 minutes to address our kids about our KMS Board of Education, to start stuff with the microphone, and we have one. Christian, this is Christian. She lives at 123 North Park Avenue. She is speaking today during the citizens' comments on agenda items. She was here on Tuesday and said that she was no longer participating in the ESY program for the remaining of the 2026 summer session. She wanted to explain what happened on Tuesday. She had a meltdown, and the reason why she had a meltdown is because she quit ESY. There was a pet peer named Wazoo who puts food on her shirt. She was screaming and angry. She put her anger on him, and she also put anger on her friends. Normally, she will be disappointed. However, she was now grounded for 2 weeks because during that day, she screamed profanities, screamed out loud, and yelled. She threw stuff in the classroom. She used her cell phone when she wasn't supposed to. The meltdown before, and her question was, is the KMS therapy room still offering behavioral therapy? So she needs to know that. So, and Davin Shelley, would you like to? Yes. So I'm Davin Shelley, and I live at 8 East Poplar. I'm going to be regarding to the Unified Partners Program and Special Education Translations. I have a major concern regarding our LLD students at Trinity High School from this last year. During volleyball session in November and December, we noticed that our students are struggling significantly to socialize, connect, and communicate with others. I coach-teach Unified Partners. And the entire purpose of the Unified Partners program is to help these students to build these exact social connections and building connections, but it's not working effectively. But I wanted to ask what specific plan training or therapeutic treatment they have to get your students generally involved and to learn how to socialize. So Bella found a great plan to forward. She discovered that the KMS server room that she works on, she offers structured peer group consisting of 80 students. She was scheduling it for us for the summer, for scheduling on every Friday at 6 p.m. and hopefully I was hoping that group will finally help them bridge the social gap, and that's all their stuff. And Jacob. Yes, I'm Jacob Rudolph. I live at 2 Monterey Drive. I'm speaking today during the behavioral interventions. Speaking to Wednesday morning, I was the subject intense vertebral hostility of another student, Christian Dunning and yelled, "Screw you, Jacob." 6:30 at me when her mother was in the room, and that incident caused me to have a cerebral meltdown, ruined my entire school day, despite classroom staff, and specifically Mr. Mr. Le- Leota, doing his best to support me and help me calm down. The situation in Scarlet Dramedy Christian ran out of the school building, requiring Principal Adams to physically immediately. Um, and Christian stole my personal um, cell phone. She told me to I don't know excuse. She refused to apologize. She kicked the door and walked um without permission. Our substitute teacher, Mr. Bear, interviewed the class, and she told her to watch her mouth. She immediately talked back to him, definitely saying, "Watch your attitude." Mr. Bear then ordered her for the principal's office to ensure chaos. He had to call the office for emergency announcement for Principal Adams to look at her Christian to then directly a finger to Mr. Bear. That later repeated, and she was screaming and crying. The behavioral classes seems like she was because she wanted to do tryouts for fall cheer. Her mother did. Furthermore, she wants to switch from home instruction, but she's not. She won't be doing here. She was suspended for 2 weeks. I'm Bella, and I live. I was conferring about the KMS therapy room is fully equipped, offering speech therapy, occupational therapy, structured peer groups, and targeted behavioral therapy. These services are exactly what our students need to navigate during. In fact, we do have peer groups. We will start them in the following week when now we're closed. And we're starting to. And I'm all about Tony. The behavioral therapy is like a position that like bad is not just correcting bad days. It's about teaching emotional regulation, identifying behavioral triggers, and giving students coping mechanisms that they need to prevent escalations before they happen. So, just be careful before you get upset. Yeah, so be careful. Yeah, so like, um, so I have some questions that I just searched on Google. So the first question is, what is the best way to get them less anger while I work in the therapy room? Because I'm not a therapist. I'm a speech language pathologist in the therapy room. So the best way to do that is to help them regulate their nervous system and reactivate their prefrontal cortex through somatic and grounding techniques. So, immediate strategies included introducing deep breathing and applying cold stimulus like ice or pausing the heavy procession to use tactical distractions. We always ask this child to hold in an ice pack or splash cold water on their face to trigger that dive reflects on lower heart rate. We will guide them through slow, rhythmic, diaphragmatic breaths, such as exhaling longer than you inhale, or to signal safety to that body, and to provide fidget tools, the texture objects and coloring materials to get physical emergency and safe neutral outlet. The sessions that it's really acknowledging their anger without feeding or the content of your rant, unpause the triggering line of conversation, and then we ask them to rate their emotional intensity or a simple 1 to 10 scale to bring awareness back to their cognitive brain. The 1 to 10 scale rating, it is probably what we think. We offer feeding therapy, and we do. And then they try their food, the new food, and then they get the 1 to 10 rating. So that's actually good. It's what I love to do. It's just a physical reset, so just standing up, stretch really, or whatever that is. I would also I have some questions about about speech therapy for high and a therapy room outside of school. Um, so they do speech therapy outside of school. I do work on their the Q&A. Um, so that is not in school. That is not school, but in different place. But in a different place, we do offer that, and I think that so. Jacob and Owen. What was that? Yes, so me, Bella, and Owen work on our therapy room, but it's such an a private outpatient clinic, a private practice office, or hospital. It focused broadly on personal communication and life goals rather than just academic performance. And these sessions are typically one-to-one, highly flexible, and tailored directly on family concern. Feeding therapy is also one of our speech therapy. Feeding is actually going to be the speech language with all. So, I think feeding is actually. I think. Oh wait, is that OT or speech? It's speech. Bella's during the. It's like speech language pathologist. So Bella also does feeding therapy as well, and addition to that, she, and we do have back to school activities that students can also do. At first, we're gonna do like the speech therapy thing. Um, so, for ages, I think it's ages. Ages five through I guess 5 to 22. Students can take speeches from 5 to 32. Um, so I have some questions. So for so and a, so I think we have a KMS. So we work at KMS therapy room. I gotta update my computer. Um. Okay. So school therapy is focusing strictly on academic successes and um, curricular access, but the clinic therapy, we are under clinic therapy. It's total communication, community participation, and personal independence. So clinic therapy complements school service, but does not replace it to them. Um, no, private clinics use medical diagnosis and clinical evaluation instead of educational classifications. And yes, parents can sit in sessions. They receive directed coaching to practice strategies at home. But first, I want to talk about the younger children. The younger children from ages 5 to 10, they're targeting like articulation, vocabulary, science, structure, follow directions, and therapy is part of play and based on highly rewarding and utilizing games, toys, and movements. Yeah. So yeah, I think you have a lot of information because you work on the therapy room. Yeah, she's speech therapist. Now consider that, Bella. And then it turns turn taking, sharing, understanding, and emotion cues and peer interactions. Now we have the tweens and teens for ages. Unfortunately, we don't do 18 to 22. We only do like 5 to 17-year-olds, and 5 to 18-year-olds, because some of the high schoolers are in high school. I mean, like middle and high school. It's navigating sarcasm, peer conversation, and body language. They organize thoughts and planning essays and managing time, and managing something stuttering in a high anxiety situation like class presentations. It's typically, I think it's typically speech therapy is like 30 minutes per session. Do you really know this? So I have some. And I do have some of the speech therapy activities that I actually do over the summer, for summer at a different place, at a clinic. So we only in the clinics too. The one thing is that we don't do this, but this is where I guess I think I hired a speech pathologist. I don't know what it is. I think that's student, but I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I think so. We do offer that.
Yeah, so I have some activities I don't offer in them for. Okay. Okay, there we go. The one thing it's that which is really cool, is that the camping pretend play. I do this in my sessions, and all we do is that we set up a campfire, a pretending it's a campfire, and it's on the clinic. I think I use like cutting the construction paper, and we practice sequencing steps to make s'mores, to describe the item, and then pull it from the backpack. Now, it's really similar. And we also have one which is called like a beach ball toss. So when we write target words and conversation props or articulation targets or on a colorful beach ball, we toss it and we back and forth to practice speech styles or social turn taking. That's actually kind of exciting. The one thing is that sponge water bombs. I don't do that in my sessions, but some of the art therapist does. It's using wet sponges or in a target hitting game, and to practice verbs, pronouns, and multi-step directions outside at school. We do this outside, but we don't do it in our therapy room. My one thing is the summer book companions. What we do is like we read the season story and then it's summer work. We work on story grammar, vocabulary expansion, and comprehension. The one other thing is postcard writing. This is like the older middle and high school kids. So we write a fake vacation postcard. This targets extended writing, past tense verbs, and pragmatic phrases. So this is for only for the little kid, the older kids. Then we have recipe following, and then we make a simple no baking snack to trail mix, and then follow visual recipes or to practice temporal concepts and spatial directions. So, and we also do scavenger hunts in our sessions. We do that in our gym, and it's probably there. And then Jacob, do you want to do a break, and then we'll do we do our back to school activities and then morning meeting?
Sure. All right, guys. Now let's do our song break. Have a great time, and we'll back. So this week we're talking about KMS Derby. All right, we're still talking about our therapy room, and then we'll do morning meetings with Dolly. So Dolly will hold on one second. We're gonna talk about therapy room. Well, with this time we did speech this time. Uh, Bella, let's talk about you. About the activities for back to school. You planned that, yeah. So the one thing is like, I love doing this, and the one thing I like to do in my sessions is that the all about me bags. So we have the kids bring the bags and draw these items, 3 items that represents their summer, and they use this to target some articulation, carryover, expressive language, and pure questioning skills. We also have one where it's like two truths and a goal. So they told the kids, I had the kids share two fun facts and one communication goal for their new school year. And this builds like this self advocacy and paramedics. And the other one is like the Would You Rather School Edition. The one thing I do is have like, I look up YouTube and type some things and type like Would You Rather School Edition, and the kids really enjoy it. I put it in my laptop, the only laptop I have I use for work, and it's like, would you rather, and like it's asks fun school themed dilemmas, and to practice like a reasoning defining animal opinion at least to listen to peers. The one thing I also like to do is read stories, like first day jitters, and the patron has to go to school, and this is to target their story, grammar, sequencing, and inferencing. The other thing is school supply categorization, which is we had to sort picture items or real items into categories like, for example, math, reading, writing tools, math supplies, argue, and define their functions. The other one is schedule sequencing, building like a daily class schedule, the target temporal concepts, first, next, before, after, and future, past tense verbs. So we always talk about that. The other thing is that the backpack craft. So we use like glue the mini school supply cutouts on a paper bag, and then paper backpack, and then we put it to target articulation words and fluency strategies into on like each supply item. The other thing is like goal crowns. We had the little kids make paper crowns with words on it, and then the picture showing like what they improved in speech this year. That's and we have one for teenagers, which is you guys, is that the organization and planning skills. So it's executive functioning by mapping out the sample high school digital calendar or agenda. And the other one is scenario cards, which is like we discuss the realistic social friction points and like talking a new lunch table or emailing a teacher for help. Then we use like a TED Talks or a podcast. So like we listen to a short clip and discuss main ideas, perspective, talking, and like abstract language. So that's kind of. And we also do offering what is called a feeding therapy. So during that, we like children's touch and smell it and play with the new foods, and then we do like an activity that's strutting jaw, tongue, and lip movements. And I introduce a new texture, and a tiny manageable step, and then they earn rewards for interacting the non-preferred food. So during my sessions, well, what do you always give? And she always gives everyone like stickers. Did you guys see that? No, I usually get them like every time I'm feeding therapy. I don't do feeding therapy, unfortunately. Do you always get like stickers and stuff? No, like some toys. I do offer toys like in my therapy room, but I do. It's like the squishy ones. My fidgets. I have the fidget box. The other one is like parents can learn, like for the parents, they learn strategies to reduce their mealtime stress at home. With the older kids, They set their own goals, like eating a restaurant with their friends, and sessions include like basic cooking, meal planning, and food preparation. We don't actually use that, and then they use like the logic, challenge, anxiety to about certain food textures, so students get along harder with that. We increase the variety of accepted foods and nutrients to ensure proper chewing and swallowing and prevent choking. Um, we're at lowest stress level around food and social eating situations, and help them individual feed themselves eventually. And progress depends on the root cause of feeding issues. Home At home they can practice speed up progress significantly and accept the small victories like touching a food before eating it. So students can do that. Um, the one thing that I'm about to need to ask, I might want to ask Ayah for this, is that what are the most common diagnoses of child you serve? It could be like an autism sensory deposit disorder or structure swallowing issues. That some students might have issues with that. So students have like, a lot of kids do have like that autism issues or like a feeding and swallowing issues, I think.
Yeah, that's actually kind of. I Alright, Dobby, morning meeting. Alright, good morning, everyone. We always start with morning meeting, and our morning meeting will start with our greetings. When we greet our friend or anyone in the building, we need to look them in their eyes and say their names. Tomorrow's our last morning meeting, so hopefully that concludes that helps you practice a lot. So if you haven't watched our really new old past KMS in the morning shows things, please check it out so you can practice morning meeting with that as well. Our question of the day is, what makes you the most happy? Gotta think about that. Yeah, so I gotta think about that. The kids I see each day when I greet them, especially in the therapy room. I greet them in the therapy room. I was saying hello and then we come up. We always at the end of each session we go to the gym. We have our own gym in the therapy room. So and I think that it's kind of good that we all come together. I mean, it's kind of like really similar that we all come together and like we always. It's actually the speech therapist. We do offer that too. We come in and then we close like around 11-ish, 11 to 12 p.m. because we have lunch. We have lunch, and then we do like something. But it's like I eat lunch in my office, and but it's kind of similar. But I don't, and sometimes I do the entrance. Do like the entrance thing. I don't do it, but I don't say, well, a lot of times I do in my office, which is actually kind of crazy. So that's that's kind of nice. Not only I thought you do that. Wait, you thought you did like most of it, but I thought it's kind of weird because then you will obviously do all this stuff. Like that's not. That's not really good. Yeah, Goose, exactly. And like most likely kids with the disabilities, like that, what you mentioned, the feet swallowing issues, like that you don't. Exactly. That's not even that possible. Most happy about me is that I get to have the new episodes. I'm in Team Movie, so you're gonna hear my speech tomorrow. That's exactly what I'm planning to see. Yeah, that means like, and this year I'm in the WoW team. So you will be in November. You're gonna be in the November. I'm in the October side. I don't know why. I'm still in the April side. Oh my god, Olivia! You're still in Kids Bob. If you guys haven't checked our interview from our past Kids Bob, Olivia Johnson was it. She's going to be in Kids Bob again. And she's lucky because why? Because I'm excited to make fun events and improve school spirit. And making sure voices are so heard. Tomorrow you will see Dobby and Nicholas. So Dobby and Nicholas will be coming tomorrow. Friday will be coming today. Friday you'll get to see them. So
We'll talk about Hawaii stuff as well. Yep. And then we're done. So no more morning shows after tomorrow, and we'll see you guys soon.